Hey, it's Yapeh Malka, and I'm back with another vlog. Okay, so this week, I'm gonna talk about. You're gonna journey with me through my school. Now, I told you the guys. I think I told you guys. My long-term thing is that I'm in school. I'm in school to actually become a lawyer, right? So, one of the discussions that was given for school was we were discussing Huntington's disease. Now, Huntington's disease is a disease that can affect your nerve system and or your mobility or the how you talk. It's pretty a pretty bad disease. However, there's no cure for Huntington's disease as of today. There's no cure for Huntington's disease. So in the discussion for school, we had to discuss rather we would get tested if we had a gene for Huntington's disease, like if it ran in our family or if somebody in our family had Huntington's disease, will we get tested for it? And B, will we choose to procreate if we knew that the gene of Huntington's disease was in our family? Literally, I was the only person who said no. I wouldn't get tested for Huntington's disease. And in a discussion, we had to say, we had to respond to a person who said that they would and a person who said they wouldn't. Since I was the only one who said that I wouldn't get tested, how does that work, And that had me thinking because I feel like a lot of times in life, people operate in fear. And what I said, and to one of the people who was saying, well, this, and that, I said, fear rots the bones. And why be afraid of something that you can't control? One thing is determined in life, that you will die, okay? Your the type of life that you live, it's not guaranteed. What you may experience, that's not guaranteed, but you will die. That's one thing that we do know. And we also know that death is not in your power. As a person, you can't decide. And people do try to kill themselves. I remember when I was younger, my cousin's good friend tried to kill herself and she drank some bleach. It didn't work. Okay. She ended up having a raspy voice. Okay. Because what we do is want to live. Okay. That's just what we innately want to do. Our body is set up to survive. Okay. So my problem, with people is, people, of course, everybody was responding to me because I was one of the people, the only person who said they wouldn't get tested. And my reasoning for not getting tested is it's no cure. It's no cure. What is the point of knowing and fearing the future if it's not even a cure? Like, I get it if, there's a cure for it and I can test and say, oh, and then I can take the antibiotic or whatever it is that offsets it or stops it from happening. But if it's not a cure, what's the point of me being afraid of something or knowing something is imminent when death is already imminent? And you don't know if you're going to live to even see it. And it supposedly comes in the prime of your life, between 30 and 50 years old. That's when Huntington's disease rears its ugly head to basically ruin your life, stop your mobility and everything that's good, nervous system. You can't talk, you can't walk, you can't do none of these things anymore. Why would I get tested for that if it ain't a cure for that? It doesn't make sense because in my mind, that's all it's going to do is cause fear. Now, like they said, or will you procreate? Now you telling me I'm not going to have kids? Or if I have a baby, I'm going to abort for the simple fear of they may get this disease and have a life that they don't want to live? That doesn't make sense. Because if I'm the only person who has the gene, as the Punnett square or the law of genetics goes, it's 25% chance. Because other chromosomes come from my partner. If they don't have it, even though it's a dominant gene, if they don't have it, chances are my kid won't have it. It's a 25% chance that they'll have it. And in the other arena, in most arenas rather, 25% is a failure. If you get a 25 out of 100, is you pass that test? No. So why should I live my life on a fear of 25%? Why should I not have children on a fear of 25%? Yes, it's a possibility that down generation 3, they could have it or something to that extent. However, it could be a cure by generation 3. You'll be the test dummy. They studying it. But what makes you think, it baffled me to an extent of like, okay, we're going to die. Everybody's going to die. If you don't know, you watching this and you don't know you're going to die, you will. You're going to die. It's going to happen because that's called life. In life, we die. That's just what we do. Your quality of life, I don't know. But nobody knows their end. Nobody knows. Like, before it all sets in your prime of your life between 30 and 50 years old, you can die of a chicken bone at 13. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can die of a car accident at 25. You understand what I'm saying? You can get shot at 22. So you can fall down the stairs and break your neck at 30. So why would I base my life and my total existence on the fear of something coming? But every single person did this. And that reminded me, last year in October, I was on the southeast side of Chicago, and 3 guys held me up at gunpoint. I was talking to this guy who his cousin was moving to Chicago, and he was asking me questions about it, whatever. And he was like, "Oh, you're so brave." So anyway, they held me up at gunpoint. And, the guy, it was 2 different guys who held the same one gun. But the moment that he came upon me, he took the gun off safety. And he was trying to take like my credit card and my cell phone, but I didn't give it to him. Because he's like, "Oh, we need this." No, you don't. You don't need anything that I have, sir. And I understand that you feel like because you have the gun, you have the power. But what I know is that life and death is not in your hands. You don't know. You can't know. You don't know the quality of life you're going to have. You don't know when is your time for death. That's just something I have seen a video recently of the president of Venezuela. Somebody tried to assassinate her. She was shaking hands in a crowd, and the guy had a gun and tried to pull a trigger to her head, and it didn't work. The gun didn't work, and the guy dropped it and ran off. And she was afraid, of course, because like, oh my goodness, I almost died, but it didn't happen. And that's my thing. You don't know. So there's no sense of fearing the unknown because nobody knows. Nobody knows. Even the person that's killing you could die of a heart attack right then and there. The gun doesn't have to work. So I feel like a lot of times people base their decision on fear. Like, I'm not going to not procreate because I fear that I may pass a gene on to my child and they may not have the best quality of life. Any life is worth living. If you have it, live it. And don't be afraid. So in the Torah portion this week, Jacob said to Joseph that he didn't allow himself to think that he would ever see Joseph again. And he said, "Well, God, let me see your grandchild, my grandchildren, your children." And that's the thing we don't know. We don't know. We don't know. And that's what I guess that's the main thing I want to share this week is that live your life the best way you can. And don't be afraid because nobody knows. You don't know. As a matter of fact, I was watching something else. This lady, it was on, I can't remember the name of the program or whatever, but it was a lady named Kat. And she was a street hooker. But he was just talking about her life or whatever. So at 7 years old, she lied on her father to say that he molested her because she made a plan to get him out of their life. At 7, she lied. and made a plan to get her father out of their life. And at 36, she didn't have no toes and no fingers. And something that she said, she said that she was always beautiful and fast and she was smart. So she knew how to maneuver. But you don't know what your life is going to be. You don't know. So the best thing that you can do is be kind to people and consider people as people and not be mean and nasty and rule and root for things that's not profitable when you never know if you're going to need these people. Your life can be cut short young, or you can be in old age needing somebody to wipe your butt. Or you can live a long life and be functional your whole life. I was just looking at a lady who just made 98 and she's basically running down the aisle, like healthy and full of her own mind and thoughts and able to move around and do things herself. You think that came from a life of nastiness because it rots your bones. Nastiness rots your bones. Fear rots your bones. Don't rot your bones, okay? Don't be afraid. Don't be nasty. I was thinking about it because I'm connected to a few people from my grammar school days, and I'm 40 again. Grammar school days on my Facebook, and I thought about something that they did then, whatever. And I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about, but look at them now, like you gonna look like you act. That's why I'm be this queen. That's it. That's my mirage for today. Thank you for watching.